For a limited time, get 25% off on this introductory offer. Visit InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
Live from Austin, Texas, it's Alex Jones.
Bruce Fein, former general counsel of the Federal Communications Commission, uniquely positioned to be able to really tell us what's going on. I've never seen behavior like I've seen from the executive, and then the Republican leadership seems to roll over because they're licking their lips, I guess, to have all this power when they get a president in charge. So, again, I'm worried about an imperial presidency, not even so much Obama, but I am shocked by the left that if Bush was trying something like this, you would have just heard howls. And now they say, hey, a lot of make Obama a dictator. He can give us some free stuff then. Just incredible political ignorance. So please finish up on that, Mr. Fein.
Well, it's very, very important, Alex, in a democratic country like ours, that we have government in the sunshine. There are a few things that need to be secret location of truth, but relatively few. Transparency, sunshine is said to be the best disinfectant. So we have a right to know what our government is doing. How can we give consent to a government that's acting in secret? And so the whole idea that, and when I was working as counsel on the Iran-Contra Committee, this is during Reagan period. I mean, President Reagan was having Secretary of State George Shultz testify, his National Security Advisor was testifying, Cap Weinberger was testifying, Secretary of Defense. This was all open in the sunshine. This is President Reagan. And now we have people like, Chairman of the FCC, I don't want to answer questions, I don't want to show up. Well, the Congress should be telling you, one, if you don't show up, we will impeach and remove you from office, because you have an obligation to explain to the American people what you're doing and why, because you are their representative. You work for them, not for Obama. You work for we, the people, who are sovereign. And if they are recalcitrant, they should impeach them or fine them $50,000, $100,000 every day that they don't appear. And you're right, it's stunning. Congress says, well, please tell us. They wring their hands and do nothing. So they get treated, like they're second and then third tier players, because they simply won't stand up and defend their authorities. Now, maybe you're right. They're just waiting for the White House so that they can be the oppressors rather than the oppressed. But that's not a very optimistic outlook for the future of the country. Because I don't want to be oppressed by anybody in the White House.
Exactly.
Republican or Democrat.
Well, also, they promised to release the 332 pages as soon as they announced it, and then they haven't released it, and are now have the Washington Post making fun of anybody that asked to see it, when we know they printed it up in book form, and they've been waving it around on TV for a month with this red tape around it. So I guess if they don't testify to Congress, why ever release it? They can be like the CIA. It'll just be secret.
Yeah, I mean, and say secret government is antithetical to anything like representative democracy. How can you have a government that doesn't even tell you what it's doing? After all, we get to decide to approve or disapprove. what's being done here. They don't get to issue by decree. There are elections and things can change. And it is this arrogance that's totally antithetical to what our founding fathers thought, a free and open government would be about.
Other points, where do you expect this to go? The Hill, and I think rightly says that this has to go through a gauntlet, these rules, and that's why they're not releasing them. So I guess they think they want to win the propaganda war, that they're protecting the internet before they roll this out by stealth. But that isn't working for Obamacare, because as they roll it out, it becomes more unpopular by the day. So why are they engaging in this tactic?
Well, they may be trying to bolster their defenses against what's sure to be a legal attack on the net neutrality rules. The Court of Appeals here, and the U.S. Court of Appeals in the District of Columbia, has rebuked the FCC on numerous occasions for overreach. And they may be worried that the shallowness of their explanations need buttressing before there's going to be an immediate appeal. And perhaps my expectation, Alex, would be that there'll be a stay of the FCC rules until there's a final court adjudication, which means there's years away, given the legal frailty of their promulgation.
What do you think is going to happen in your gut? I mean, the sense of Congress, the sense of the country, the sense of the other administrators and lawyers you talk to. Which way is this country going? Because it seems to be stampeding into an accelerated decline of the Roman Empire meets Buck Rogers. In your gut, where do you think this country and the world's going, Bruce Fein?
What we need is to restore our fundamental precepts as a country, which haven't changed in over 200 years. Human nature hasn't changed. The empire psychology hasn't changed. And we have, I think, Alex, anywhere from 30, maybe 35 years to completely reorient ourselves as a country whose influence abroad is the influence of example. We need to restore separation of powers back home, transparency. We defend ourselves, but we don't go abroad in search of monsters to destroy, borrow $18, $19, $20 trillion running around the world like Don Quixote, thinking that we can change cultures that are 1,000, 5,000 years old, if ethnic rivalries and despotism into democracies. You can't do it. If you could, those people who believe that, Alex, I say, let them hire me build a perpetual motion machine.
Sure.
It's truly stunning. Failure after failure. Afghanistan fails. Yemen fails. Iraq fails. Syria fails. Nowhere. Libya fails. All of that. They keep coming back and doing the same thing. I mean, after Libya is a perfect example. You got 126 militias. The whole thing is a Somalia-like desert land. And now we're going to visit and remember, Libya and Yemen were viewed as the model that Obama singled out for pursuing ISIS. I mean, my God, the model, that's like saying, General Custer's battle of the Little Bighorn is the model by which we'll fight the future Indian wars. You say, my God, are you crazy? And we need to just totally repudiate this idea that we have some kind of obligation and expertise to cure all the ills in the world. Nice if it was possible, we will destroy ourselves as a consequence.
Well, I think
my view is if we can get Rand Paul and that philosophy back into the trajectory of where we're going as a country, we can save ourselves. Otherwise, we're following the path of the Roman Empire. It'll be just a matter of time. We'll bankrupt ourselves. We'll so overextend ourselves. We'll ultimately collapse.
Well, I agree with you. And in closing, you notice that Rand Paul won the CPAC poll, and he's nowhere in the news. And then they have a whisper campaign, libertarian movement. Oh, he's not perfect. He's not his dad, so we better not support him. He's the best in the field. That's why the power structure is coming after him and ignoring him, folks. I want you to briefly comment on that because you got to go. And then also, Have you heard about the London Guardian? Our reporters have been up there. There's a giant 5-story and then a 4-story and a 3-story complex with black sites where people died, where people are kept for up to 2 days shackled and aren't even put in the arrest database in Chicago to then ring these fake confessions. They send police lieutenants and others from there to then run operations at torture camps at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Have you heard about this black site?
No, there have been cases in the past. Yuri Lutsenko was one where people just disappeared into the jaws of the CIA and were kidnapped and held for years illegally. But I'm not fully apprised of what you've described there. I don't want to miss the opportunity to explain Rand Paul. Sure, he clearly is going to be the one most attacked because he's challenging the military-industrial complex that President Eisenhower warned us about 50-some years ago. So they'll be making up all sorts of things about Rand and trying to obscure his popularity. And we need to remember, too, we're never going to get a candidate that is 100% everything we agree on. No one's a clone of anybody else. He runs for office, and there are different demands than being a philosopher and writing something perfect. And we shouldn't squander, the good on the altar of the perfect. So this is ridiculous to suggest that Rand doesn't deserve our support, because there's a few semicolons and curly cues that we disagree with. On the fundamental issues of who we are as a nation and of liberty being the center of our constitutional universe, he's heads and shoulders above any other candidate in the last 20 years.
Sure, nobody else is saying end all the foreign aid. Nobody else is saying massively slash taxes. Nobody else is doing what he's doing. I mean, Ted Cruz is a moderate second, but I don't know Ted Cruz. I know him. We've interviewed him, but I don't know him like I've known Rand for 20 years. I know you've known the Pauls longer than that. He's the real deal. That's why they're coming after him. We need to support him. Bruce Fein, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That is a champion of the First Amendment right there and a guy of action. Bruce Fein, very honored to have him on with us, BruceFeinLaw.com. And finally tonight, I want to thank all of you for spending part of your Sunday with us and for spreading the word about the fight for human liberty, not just here in the U.S., but worldwide. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow in studio live, 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern, for the 3-hour